Welcome back, Libra, to Haunted Cerebral. This is going to be your January 2020 reading for your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign. Sorry about that. So if you have any of those planets in this aspect, this reading could have something for you. This is a general reading, so it goes without saying that whatever you hear here, whatever you see here, if it doesn't resonate with you, you can just leave it here. I'm going to be doing the same thing I always do, just looking at what's going on consciously to unconsciously and some of the trends that work out in there. And and then I'll try and wrap up some of the ideas going on, so, like through the trends. And I've already meditated on your energy, pre-shuffled your cards so we can get kind of right into it. So your overall energy for January 2020 is the Eight of Wands. So I think this reading and this month is about like being very direct, being very straightforward, being focused in your energy and the way you're using it, getting things done by not beating around the bush and just getting straight to the point, being very focused with what you want to do, your desires, your passions, and how you want to get them done. And maybe some communication in regards to that. Like, I think communication is going to be a big thing for you, but also just like taking direct action. Being very focused in your intentions and your motives. So, yeah. Okay, so Libra, for the start of your reading, top of your reading, we have the Ten of Cups, the Judgment card, and the Five of Swords. So I think that probably like a lot of people, but maybe you really enjoyed some of the holiday season, or maybe if you just didn't enjoy it, like you just got through it and you spent time together with those who you care about or who care about you, and you celebrated that, or at least you showed it to each other. And because of that, it's helped you to have a new perspective on some things, especially maybe some conflicts or relationships that left in conflict or left with words unsaid, that you're having like a new kind of understanding of them. You're kind of seeing them now from maybe a new perspective. It could also just be that the overall energy and the first major in your reading, Judgment, which may mean that you're dealing with a Scorpio, maybe not, take it or leave it, but it could just be like this is the kind of the communication. Maybe somebody got in communication with you, or maybe you got in communication with them. It could also be that over the holidays, you, from coming together with somebody else, or however things got together with you and your family, that there was some revealing of information, and that kind of like woke things up and may have set you and these other people apart. So there could be kind of some concern over that, or it could be just concern over new information, or how new things have come to light that have woken you up from whatever situation was kind of leaving things in this pure serenity place. Now things are kind of have moved into like, okay, the reality of the situation is this, and it's like maybe you're a bit concerned about how that information was brought about or communicated, and it could have separated you from them. It could be that you brought up the information too. It could just be that like things were just done in a way that separated people, and maybe it woke things up, and it was necessary. Of course, with the Judgment card, it probably was necessary to happen, but now it's time to kind of like see how that necessity had consequences, so to speak. So let's see. Yeah, I think just underneath it all, what's informing kind of your conscious self, it kind of reinforces exactly what I just said. So we have Ten of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the Hermit card. So you may be dealing with a Virgo. But yeah, with the 10 and 10, it's just like a lot of things came to completion. This year is done for you. And you saw the abundance came out of that. You saw the bigger picture. You saw and experienced and felt what it meant to have that bigger picture and the pieces completed at this time. Like, I would not say it's like the end of the road, of course not, but it's just that that chapter or that point had come to completion, and like formations took hold, and you were able to step back and see how things develop. Now, again, I think with the Knight of Swords under the Judgment card, I really think that some kind of communication involved, some kind of action, maybe hastily, was done. I think maybe words, maybe some kind of external action towards this bigger picture. Maybe it was like the feeling was that things were complete, and it's like, how could things get any better? And then all of a sudden, some like sudden force came in and suddenly woke everyone up from that kind of that dream, so to speak. The like picture perfect dream was kind of shown its true color in a way. That's what I'm seeing. And then this is kind of maybe you are feeling like that energy of the Hermit card, that you want to just withdraw from the situation in general, or that some kind of conflict with another person in the family or another person in that bigger picture, a Virgo or so and so, whoever this kind of leader by example is. They may have inspired you to also just kind of take a break from the group or something like that. So yeah, I feel like it's a pretty direct message, just like the overall energy. It's just like, okay, it's just like, this is what was going on. There was this kind of point of conclusion in some degree, but then kind of a sudden event occurred that was not shattering, so to speak, but it woke things up. It just was like, okay, wait a second, this is like maybe the rose colored glasses just got removed, and suddenly you're seeing things more clearly, and you're kind of seeing them from an elevated position, and you're seeing them more like you're woken up a bit from maybe the slumber of this serenity. And you're off your pink cloud, and now it's like, okay, wait, there's some like reality check that needs to occur here. So let's look at some of the trends going on here. So yeah, I think Libra, at the bottom of your reading, we have the Nine of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. Somehow what I'm getting from this one column here is that there was some kind of, there was some kind of, like I said, something felt like a chapter was closing, but it had more to do with somebody having a wish fulfilled, or like somebody feeling like it was their picture perfect scenario completed, as opposed to others. This is just the message I'm getting from this reading, is that somehow there was like, in order, and then also I felt like in order to accept that this was not completely a picture perfect scenario, you have to in some ways like let go of what wasn't enough in order to accept what is. And I feel like it's not a very negative outcome to it. It's more like, okay, maybe it's a way of like finding gratitude for what it was. Maybe it's not as perfect as it could have been, and that was like the letdown, and kind of what produced this feeling of like, okay, I need to regroup my thoughts about it, and I need to take time and withdraw and really like examine how that made me feel, and my role in the situation. And it may just be that you have to kind of think about who was to gain out of the situation, out of that picture being painted, and what you can learn out of it, and what is and what degree did you play a part in that completion, and how is it fulfilling your wishes too. Now, I think that in some degree you're going to have to move on from that, and it may mean that you kind of have to let go of some of the abundance that came from that situation. It may mean that you have to kind of go through some changes and accept the reality of like maybe there's a bit less abundance and maybe a bit of lack going on in the situation for you in the future. It may just mean that you have to learn to go through the survival techniques again. But I feel like because you've been through so much already and you have already quite a bit of wisdom on your side, that these changes are not going to be anything that you can't deal with, actually. Like, you're going to have all the tools you need to actually get through this. And I feel like in the end, you're going to find stronger bonds between you and another that will help you to feel that grounding again. It may even mean that like whoever was the painter of this picture of success, or the mythology at the end of the rainbow, so to speak, or like whoever was the mastermind behind the architect behind this type of life, that at some point you're gonna be able to come back at common ground and find some resolution. I'm not sure if it really means amends or anything like that. It may just mean forgiveness on some levels. I'm not even sure if this reading is suggesting that there really was like a negative outcome to this kind of shift in perspective, but there was definitely like some kind of action or information that occurred that kind of woke you up from believing that this was enough. And that was kind of a drifting energy, and it kind of unsettled some things, and that's where this need to withdraw comes from. But at the same time, there's like a feeling of like, okay, I can be actually grateful for what I learned out of it, and maybe it wasn't my picture of success, but it was for someone maybe I care about. And although it meant that I have to kind of find my own way and continue to go through challenges and maybe jump through some hoops for myself right now, it just means that when I come back to meeting this person, I can meet them eye to eye. I can even meet myself eye to eye, and not feel like I have to live up to their expectations or vice versa. We just are we're living up to our own state of acceptance in ourselves. Cool, Libra. So I think that's your reading. It's a pretty direct message to me. It's really just like how some things changed, and now you're kind of dealing with the changes in your own way, and you're going to come back to the situation, I think, feeling a much more whole person, and it'll just kind of go very direct, and there won't be much obstacle around it for you to work your way through it. It's like, in many ways, I feel like a situation like this may have occurred for you in the past before, maybe multiple times, and each time it was like more difficult. But because of all the wisdom you've gained from those experiences and the new tools you have, you can actually come back to it and get through these changes pretty rapidly, and come out back in a place that feels more secure for yourself. Great, Libra. So thanks for coming back. I wish you guys all the best in the 2020 season. I hope that this eclipse season also has been working out for you guys too. Maybe some things that you learn that you have to cut away, and some things you have to evolve. But easy does it, as with a lot of things. And if I really appreciate all the support that was coming through to me this 2019. Without you guys, I wouldn't even bother continue going. But I would like to continue, and I know that you guys are really strong supporters for me, so I really appreciate that. So as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, share the video with another Libra if you think it'll help them. And if you want to connect with me and do any personal readings or anything like that, links are down below. You can also leave donations, and yeah, every little bit goes a very long way. So I'm very grateful so far for everything that's come, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Keep coming back. Bye for now.